everyone and welcome back to Akshata's recipes. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm just going to share with you what recipes I made during the day, and if you like to see such series where I show you what I cook for the day, then click the like button down and leave your comments so I know that you'd like to see videos like this where I prepare an entire meal. I have put videos like this in the past and I will share those links down below. Also, all the recipes shown down below, I'll leave the links to those recipes with the exact measurements. So let's jump straight ahead into today's recipe, and I'll also catch you at the end of the video, so watch till the end. So let's get started. So friends, let's start and see what I cooked today. So let me start with the potato bhaji that I made, which is also called batata Katriya. So for this, I took about 4 medium-sized potatoes, washed them really well. Now I'm not going to peel them, we're going to use them with the peel. I'm going to cut the potatoes into half, then each half into 3 parts like this, and then slice them very, very thin. So for those of you who are not familiar with what is batata katsriya, it's basically chips, potato chips, which have got lovely, flavored with lovely Indian spices. And it's really an amazing Maharashtrian dish. And once you eat this, you're going to love it. So this is the size of the katsriya that we're looking for. It shouldn't be very thick or not very thin, but it should be of this size, because then it gets really nice and crispy and also gets nicely coated with all the lovely spices. So in this way, I'm going to chop up all the 4 medium-sized potatoes. Now this vegetable is made with very few ingredients, as you'll see as we go along, and it gets ready also within about 10 to 12 minutes. This vegetable is all ready. So now I'm going to chop up all the remaining potatoes in the same way. Now here I have my pan heating. I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoon of oil. This requires a lot of oil, but then I'll show you what I do to reduce the amount of oil. So now once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Let the mustard seeds splutter. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, about 6 to 7 curry leaves, let the curry leaves also fry, half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hinga, and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder. Now I'm going to add the potatoes and mix everything really nicely together so that all of the potatoes get nicely coated with the oil and all the spices. Now the oil is a little more for this recipe, but as you'll see as we go along the recipe, how we deal with that extra oil. So now I'm going to cover and cook this for about 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, you'll see that the potatoes have already started to crisp up and fry. So just give it a nice quick mix. Again, cover it and cook it for another 1 minute. So we're going to do this till the potatoes become nice and crispy, which should take about 5 minutes. So you can see that the potatoes have almost crisped up. And since we've cut them nice and thin, they fry really fast. So now I'm going to add some salt to taste. And then also I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. Now watch the video till the end, because I'm going to tell you what I do with the extra oil that's there in this bhaji. So nothing goes to waste, and it's also healthy. So now mix everything really nicely together. Next I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of red chili powder. If you want to go a little more spicy, you can add a whole teaspoon, which I am doing now. I added another half teaspoon because we like it a little more spicy. But if you don't want it very spicy, just stick to half a teaspoon of red chili powder. Now, in place of red chili powder, sometimes I also add kanda lasoon masala, which is it makes it even more delicious. And now you can see that I'm separating the potatoes, putting them to the side, and letting all the excess oil drain down in the center. In the middle, I'm mixing it up again, and again, I'm letting the potatoes sit at the side of the vessel so that they crisp up, and letting all the oil, sit in the center. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of coriander leaves because I want to fry the coriander leaves as well and make them nice and crispy. We are going to add a little more of coriander at the end for garnish. And again, you can see I'm just putting it towards the side of the pan and letting the excess oil come to the center. And now I'm going to keep it like this and again cover it and cook it for about another 2 minutes. This way it becomes nice and crispy and all the excess oil drains to the center. And now our vegetable is all ready. So I'm just going to take off all the potatoes without any of the oil. And like I said, watch the video till the end because I tell you what I do with this excess oil. And our vegetable is ready. So this is a real quick recipe. So you don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, especially in the summertime. You can make this really nice and quick. So our lovely batata katsriya is ready. All I have to do is just garnish it with some little bit of fresh coriander leaves. So this makes a great tiffin item. If you want to cook something really quick, this is really a amazing recipe. Now the next thing I did prepare that day was this garlic chutney, which is called lasun tikhat. So let me show you how I do this. So here I have a dry coconut, half a shell, which is called, khobryaचा vati. And I'm just going to grate it using my cheese grater, using the biggest hole in the grater. And this is what I get. So I get about a cup or so of this grated coconut. Now I'm going to put this coconut into my large mixer jar. And then we just have to add a few ingredients and our chutney will be ready in less than 5 to 7 minutes. So to this, I'm going to add about 10 to 12 cloves of garlic, salt to taste. And like many of you who are watching know that I've switched to Himalayan pink salt. Then I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of red chili powder. And then I'm going to add about almost 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder to bring out beautiful color. And then I'm going to coarsely grind it, not to a paste, but to grind it to a coarse powder. So just use the blitz function on your mixer and you get this lovely coarse lasun tikhat. This is really delicious. And I'll also give you tips on how you can use this in a tiffin for kids or for yourself. Super simple. And now I'm just going to store this in a clean and dry glass jar. This can last for about a month. In fact, this is really great to take on even trips. If you're going on a journey or trips, it's really good. Now the next thing I'm going to make is some lovely buttermilk. So I'm going to add this homemade curd, which is nice and chilled from the refrigerator. So I'm going to make 2 glasses of this buttermilk. So I'm using almost half a cup or 1 cup, actually 1 cup of curd. I'm going to add salt to taste. And I'm going to use this whisk, which is called a ravi in Marathi. It's a wooden whisk. And I'm just going to whisk this, counting up to 100. And once I've done that, I'm going to add about 1.5 cup of water. I'm using chilled water, but you can use normal, regular room temperature water. And again, I'm going to whisk this, counting another 100. Now I'm adding a little bit of asafoetida. This is completely optional, but we like it. So about half a teaspoon of asafoetida. And then again whisk it. Now, when you're whisking it for a long time, what happens is everything gets mixed up really well, and the buttermilk or the dark becomes really nice and light. So that's why I do this counting of 100. And now it's all ready. Now here I've just soaked some coriander leaves in some water. A bit salt is added. Then after 5 minutes I've rinsed it and cut it really fine. And now I'm just going to strain the buttermilk. This is also optional. You don't need to strain it, but we like it strained at our place. So I'm going to strain the buttermilk into glasses, and then I'm just going to garnish it with some lovely coriander, and keep this in the refrigerator and have it after my meal. This is so amazing for the lovely summertime. So you get to really enjoy all these summer delights. And now I'm just going to make these chapatis or puris as we call it at home. Now for that, what I've done is I just take about a teaspoon or so of oil in my the vessel in which I'm going to make the dough. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of whole wheat flour. I'm going to mix the flour and the oil really well, and then I'm going to add a little water at a time and make a really nice, soft yet firm dough. So, approximately for 1 cup of flour, I use about, say, 1/4 cup of water. And then I'm just going to put a little oil, say about a teaspoon again, and again knead this and keep it aside after I've kneaded it. So just knead this really well. Take your time with the kneading. This is very important. And your dough is all ready. So I'm just going to set it aside for 5 minutes. This is the dough all ready to be used for making our chapatis or puris. Now I've kept my pan to heat on a low to medium flame. And I've got some dry whole wheat flour or concates of wheat. And I'm just going to dust my rolling board with some flour, dry flour. I'm going to take a very small ball, like a lime-sized ball, and really roll it between the palms of my hands till they're nice and soft and smooth, like this. And then I'm just going to put it into the flour. My pan is already nice and hot now. And then I'm just going to roll it out to as thin as possible. Now you should always roll the puri or the chapati from the edges and not from the center. That way you'll get a real even sized chapati or puri. Always roll it towards the edges like you can see I'm doing and not the center. That way you'll get a lovely soft puri which you can just tear with your fingers, 2 fingers. You don't it remains also nice and soft for a very long time. So now I'm just going to put this onto my hot pan. And now you'll see that after about a minute, half a minute or so, you'll see these small little bubbles coming on the base of the puri. That's when it's time to turn it over and also increase the flame. And then just press down on the puri like this. This is one way of making, puris. There's one way you put oil in the center and make it also. And there's fulkas, there's parathas, there's lots and lots of options. And then I just take it out and then I just drizzle a little bit of clarified butter or ghee and just spread it out evenly. So in this way, I make all the puris or the chapatis, or sometimes when we have to have bhakri, I have bhakri. So I leave the links to all those recipes of homemade, hand bread as you call them, in the description box below. And putting clarified butter or ghee over these puris just elevates the taste of the puris. They remain nice and soft. Even if you put them in your tiffin, it will remain nice and soft till you need to eat them. And then you can just apply it like that all over, and that's it. So now our entire meal is already ready. And now whatever remaining dough I have, I put it into a steel container like this and refrigerate it. But I don't like to use too old, of the dough. I try to use it on the same day. So here we have our katsriya, our poris, our lasun tikkat, and our lovely refreshing dak. So I hope you liked all the recipes. So this lasun tikkat or garlic chutney is really nice to have handy. Like for example, even for your kids' tiffins, you can just make it as you take a chapati or a puri, you apply a little bit of toop or ghee, and then you just put a little bit of this chutney, spread it out evenly, and then just roll the chapati, cut it into half, and give it to your kids if they like this lasun tikkat or this garlic chutney. Also, buttermilk. Have a lot of this buttermilk during the summer. It really cools you down. Or after any meal, actually, it makes you feel nice and light after having it, and it's really refreshing also during the summer to have a nice chilled glass of buttermilk. So. I'll leave a link of how I make my own curd or yogurt at home, so you don't need to buy curd from outside. It's super simple, guys. And also other summer recipes, I'll leave all the links down in the description box, so you can go and just check out whatever recipes are there. There's jal jeera, which is very soothing during the summertime, so you can make a big jar of it and keep it in your refrigerator whenever you feel like having something nice and chilled, rather than having aerated drinks from outside which are full of sugar. You can go for these healthy traditional drinks. Also, I made this katriya, which is batata katriya, which is the potato bhaji that you saw in this recipe. It's super simple, and it's made with potatoes where you don't have to boil the potatoes, and if you're in a hurry to make this is also a great different item for school or for office. And you saw that there's the remaining oil in the vessel. So what I like to do is, if I have any rice left over, I just put the rice into that oil, mix it up really well, and that becomes also a light meal. And of course, chapatis. Now these chapatis I make without adding extra oil like in the middle. Generally, you add oil in the middle, then you fold the dough, and then you roll out the chapati. So I don't do it that way. I do it without any oil in the middle because I've already added oil to the dough. I have other recipes for chapatis and bhakris and puris. I'll leave all those links below. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that you guys are watching my videos, giving me likes, leaving your comments. It means the world to me. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's completely free, and then click the notification bell. That way whenever I put up a new recipe, you'll get a message for the same. So on that note, guys, thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves, stay healthy, stay fit, be loving and kind to one another, and I'll catch you soon in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye.